I'm very excited to introduce you guys to Dana Shalit, who's absolutely killing life and traveling the world and changing so many lives. She is an executive national vice president with a social marketing company and a director at a nonprofit called ARTBOUND. They partner to build art-inspired programs all over the world. I absolutely love your story, girl, and everything you're doing for the world. You inspire me so much, and I am so excited for everyone to hear your journey. So if you would like to start with sharing your story with us, because I know you were a successful freelance event producer. So how did the life you have now develop, and why did you decide to drop your event company and move to an MLM and nonprofit?
Right. So, I think what happened was I, came out of school and I just did what I was good at. And I was always really good at producing events and bringing people together, and I really enjoyed it. But what happened after doing that for a decade is I was just super burnt out. I was working 80 hours a week, sometimes 100 hours a week. I had, on Facebook, it looked amazing. It was like fashion shows and charity events, and it looked super glamorous. But the truth was I had just no time for myself. I was 20 pounds heavier than this. I had panic attacks. I was like thinking, can I possibly do this for the rest of my life? And the overwhelming answer was no. Like, there has to be another way to live life on my terms, to still use my brain and make a difference, but live a more peaceful existence, and also follow my passions, which for me was always philanthropy. It was actually the reason why I got into producing events, because I had a passion for charity events. So I was trying to find a way to follow that passion stream. But yeah, so that's when I was introduced to the MLM industry. I got through a random message on Facebook, and at first I was a little bit skeptical. I think that's normal. But when I saw, I think that when I saw the opportunity, when I realized that this could potentially be my vehicle to do more of what I love, that it will allow me to have both time freedom and financial flexibility, and I sort of felt like I had no choice but to give it a shot. And I'm so grateful I did, because my life is just so different now, and I really do live that free lifestyle. So I'm really, really grateful, not only for the opportunity, but for the industry that creates those kind of opportunities for us.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. So what do you think is your one thing that has helped you become successful? I know there may be multiple things, but is there one thing that you have developed or a routine that has been a game changer for you in your business?
There's been so many, for sure, but I would say dedicating my life to personal growth. I read, 2-3 books every single month. I have since the beginning of my journey, but not only reading, but like experiencing. And I take notes and I think about what I'm reading and internalize it. So just developing a self-awareness to understand that everything I don't have, if it's in my mind, then it's something I can accomplish. I just need to figure out the barriers in between, my own self-imposed limitations that hold me back from believing that it's either possible for me or hold me back from doing the work necessary to achieve it. So identifying my own self-limiting beliefs through growth, through personal development seminars, through discussions with others, and not being scared to move in hyperspeed through that personal growth journey. Because the truth is, you change, the people around you change, and circumstances around you change. And so it can be a little bit scary because you don't know who you're going to be on the other side. But that is really the only way to, you can't just dream about the person you want to become. You need to be willing to evolve into that person, and and then only the results come. So for sure, personal growth has been a game changer for me.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Right? Awesome. You're on that journey too.
So what would be one of the hardest things? Like, I know personal development is getting through the mind blocks and everything is hard, but that you had to work through, or maybe one of the biggest mistakes you had made in your business that you would like to share with people aspiring to be where you are?
Well, at the beginning, I made it all about me. So it was about my dreams, about what I want to accomplish. It was about helping my parents retire and, getting out of debt. And it was very much about like what my vision was for my life. And there was a moment where it all shifted when I realized that if I make it about other people, if I just concentrate on, my favorite quote is, make your service your purpose. So as soon as I made the service my purpose, everything started to shift. Because you have to trust that if you give and you first of all, you have to fill yourself up. So if you're full and then you give to other people, it comes back at you tenfold. Yeah. So that would probably be the biggest lesson, is to follow the energy stream so that your purpose becomes your service, and trust and have faith that's going to be enough to come back at you. Because again, we live in a society that we think, if I'm not taking care of myself, then who is? As opposed to shifting that mindset to, what I'm going to trust that if I give and I share and I listen to other people, people just want to be heard, right? If I listen to other people, that's going to make a massive difference, not only for them, but that the universe will also reward me accordingly.
Yeah, wow, that's so accurate. That's so true.
Thanks.
Okay, so I am all about my morning routine. I know it has changed my life, so I love hearing other successful people, like what exactly they do. So do you have a morning routine you absolutely cannot start your day off without doing?
Absolutely, and I have for years. And that would have been probably the other thing I would have said of what made a huge difference for me. When I really started to see success in my life, I was doing Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. club. So waking up at 5, exercising, journaling, and, doing some work or setting up my day, planning. So now I have a version of that and a version of the Miracle Morning, and I've sort of just developed it, what I know works for me. So the best part about it is I usually wake up without an alarm clock. That's part of the fun of loving what you do. And I wake up early, like 6:30, like I can't wait to wake up in the morning. The first thing I do is do a gratitude list, 10 things I'm grateful for. Sometimes I do it first. Sometimes I meditate first. So I wash my face, and I come back into bed, and I sit up, and I meditate. For ideally 20 minutes, I've done an hour before, like really just not make it something I'm doing, but just create a space for myself to just be and allow myself to sit still. Gratitude list. And then I walk my dog every single morning. Like, it's such a huge part of it, usually with a book on tape or like some kind of something to start my day right. So I would say those are the top 3. And I have a butter coffee, which, there's so many health benefits to that. I make my own butter coffee. It's the best.
I love it.
It's a nice routine. I love it. I can't live without my morning routine. It sets my day up. I'll take it a whole step further too. I used to make it all about my morning routine, and it is, but now I've added 20% is actually how I go to sleep. So as I'm falling asleep, I'll play, there's great affirmation apps, or I'll review my day and think about the things I'm grateful for, because there's studies that show that how you go to sleep will actually be how you wake up. Whatever you put in your brain as you're falling asleep, that's actually the time that you use to manifest energy. And so it's so important to really set your head straight before you fall asleep as well.
That's so good to know. What's the affirmation app?
So it's called Think Up. And you literally write affirmations and you record your own voice, saying that to music, and you can put it on a timer, so like fall asleep to it, and it just rewires your brain as you're going into the gamma stage. Like they say that, we're operating in alpha brain waves all the time, and as you're falling asleep, you're going into beta and gamma, and that's like the time that you really want to reprogram your brain.
Wow, that is so interesting.
Yeah, I love
I'm definitely getting that out now.
It's so good. And you know what you can do? I've done a lot of this as well. Because we have so many limiting beliefs, and the only way to release them is through awareness. What you actually may want to consider is taking some time to journal about what pops up as limiting beliefs. Like, why aren't you where you want to be? And just journal. And then once you have that list, that brain dump, you'll probably cry through it, like a lot of, because you're going to say crazy stuff about yourself. Then you take that list and you make affirmations beside each one.
Wow.
Beside each thing. And then you use that as your app, and as you fall asleep, you start to reprogram your brain in terms of limiting beliefs. That's what I do. And the limiting beliefs pop up at every stage. It's never.
Oh, wow. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. That's amazing.
It's fun.
So I feel like I know what you're going to say for this one, but what is your proudest MLM moment? Because I remember, and it was so beautiful. I cried.
Yeah, I still cry when I think about it. Yeah, it's about winning the Spirit of ARTBOUND award, and just winning. Winning is a weird word, but earning it, I would say, probably, for a few different reasons. It was always my dream, because philanthropy is such a big part of my life, and to be recognized by the company that allows me to live that life, but to be recognized by my peers, because it was voted for by my peers, and, standing up in front of 20,000 people. And everybody says to me all the time, I wish I could do what you do. And everyone really can, but it's sometimes it's hard work, it's not always the side of it that people see on Instagram of being able to travel and connect. There's taxes,
highlight reel,
appointments, and, our last trip to Haiti got canceled. It was heartbreaking for the second time, so there's stuff happens. Stuff is life, right? But standing up on that stage and saying and having the ARTBOUND community say to me that congratulations, way to get it all done, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful moment.
Thank you.
So amazing. I had to ask you about it.
Of course, and it was so beautiful to be able to share it with so many of my friends and people I respect. So
it's so amazing. You're doing great things, so you need to be recognized for it.
Thank you.
So then what would be one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received that you can share with us?
The best piece of advice, it's sort of cliche, but one of my mentors just said it to me, just do it already. Just do it already. And I'm reading a great book right now called The 12-Week Year, and I just started it. I'm listening to a great book, and he talks about the difference between people who are successful or not is actually not learning. It's not, studying. It's actually their ability to execute. So execute about what you want to do. So, and not execute this year, these are my goals, but execute daily, weekly, monthly, to get to the end of that year. And it is, so now when I read that, I got why that piece of advice, just do it, made a difference for me, because I kept waiting for the timing to be right. I kept analyzing why I wasn't where I wanted to be. I kept looking at other people and thinking, how did they do it? As opposed to just concentrate on the just do it, just concentrate on the execution. So that, and then when she said that to me, I was like, all right, well, I'm blinders on. I don't care how long it's going to take me to get there. I don't care if it's a year or 5. I'm going for it. I'm going to execute every single day because that's what it's going to take. So, and then obviously that's one way, but I have that whole spiritual side of it, which was once I decided I was going to do it, then every day I came head to head with why I wasn't doing things. So the feeling of not wanting to do it, it's probably not going to work for you anyways. All the self-talk that pops up that stops you from just doing it came up. And so the side of it that's when the real work begins, going head to head with your self-limiting beliefs and your self-talk and the stuff that actually stops you from executing upon what your dreams are.
Wow.
So just do it.
That's really good. Okay, so what would be some of your hidden inspirations or sources that you have that you go to, or mentors?
Hidden. Gosh, I don't know if they're so hidden, but I read and listen every day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't have a book on. So Audible, I would say Think Up for sure. I love that app. I can't live without it. Meditation apps, Time. Sorry.
Who is one of your mentors that you look up to? It's your everything.
Oh, for sure, Oprah, but that's not surprising. I just love, I have a list of questions I'm going to ask her when I meet her. Do you know? Do you cry anymore? Do you have the deep waves of emotions, or have you released everything that you're so Oprah for sure. I can't wait to meet her one day. There is a woman named Mama Gina who wrote a book called Pussy, a Reclamation, which, and I'm doing one of her programs right now, and she's fascinating when it comes to having women reclaim their power. So maybe that's a little more hidden. I think a lot of people know about her now as well. But I really find it interesting, women specifically, how much shame we live with and how we give our power away to other people. And so I would love to reframe that conversation. I notice it in myself. I give my power away to men. I give my power away to people all the time. And it's just a way for me to stay small. So I love what she speaks about owning our bodies and owning our minds and owning our power, not being scared of being too much, and, standing in our feminine power as well as our masculine power. So she would be my secret sauce. Every woman and every man should read that book. So.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. So, I know I need to get on that then. I really need to get on that.
Yeah. It's hard to say on video, but it's...
Okay, and then we'll just finish this off. So I I'm all about, getting out of your comfort zone and living fearlessly. So what would be your definition of living fearlessly?
I would say really living free from self-doubt, and I still struggle with what people think about me. I think we all do. Yeah. But really being able to let that go and live in my truth, and have the confidence to really be so connected with my intuition that I know that I am, everything I do is just connected to my highest self all the time. So I would say confidence and not being scared to live peacefully. And so having the confidence to just know that I don't need to be doing and hustling all the time in order to succeed and create. That's the path I'm on now. I want to create everything I've created, but through a peaceful lens, through a trust of everything coming to me as it should, through a sense of surrender. And so that would be for me what the next phase would mean. Peace.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
My pleasure. It's so fun to connect with you from across the world.
Yeah,
I love it.
You as well.